Welcome to Wednesday. It's the 23rd of June, 2021. Well, folks, as we head on into the next several days, rain chances are going up, temperatures are going down. Now, what we're going to see over the next 72 hours is a change for most of the Intermountain West, which I think is going to be good news for a lot of you. As we are going to see a hot day today. Yep, by anybody's standards, it's going to be hot. And it will be a little bit hazy from forest fire smoke drifting in from the Great Basin. But we do have cooler weather with showers and thunderstorms Thursday through Saturday. Overall, over a large area, this is the best chance of rain we've seen in a while. Is it going to end the drought? No, but it's going to be helpful to many areas that are suffering some severe dryness right now. And we're going to put together 3 days where it's going to be downright cool and even longer than that. Nice weather Sunday and Monday. If you want a couple of days that look like Chamber of Commerce days, Sunday and Monday, behind the cool air and the showers and thunderstorms moving out, that's going to be a 2-day window that looks really good. The retrograding high pressure we talked about yesterday is going to keep the heat in the Pacific Northwest, parts of Central and Northern California through early next week. Now, some of that heat is going to sneak in towards the middle of next week back to the northern central Rockies. But right now it looks like the worst of the heat for the next couple of weeks is not going to be here. California and the Pacific Northwest, they'll continue to get the brunt of it. And the overall trend that we see long range in early July, really doesn't look bad. We don't see anything too awful. It looks like the weather we had in early to mid-June where it was so hot and dry, at least at this moment, while we've got hot days, certainly, as we get into early July, nothing like what we saw relative to averages in early to mid-June. Don't forget the North Park Never Summer Rodeo is coming up, June 25th through the 27th. The best parade ever is going to happen on Sunday morning. So make sure you head on down to Walden, Colorado for the North Park Never Summer Rodeo. Today's high pressure is centered right now over Texas, and that clockwise airflow around that high will continue to draw in the desert heat and also a little bit of humidity. So there's going to be a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity over the Four Corners area today. But we've got this low here and we have a forming little low up here. This is going to kind of merge to form a trough. So this is the heat today, but look what happens by Friday afternoon. We have a high pressure ridge in the British Columbia, Pacific Northwest area, and then we have this cool front and trough that actually extends all the way into northern Hudson Bay and drags a front through. This will cause upslope along and east of the Continental Divide, and this is going to cool us off, bring clouds, and bring that better chance for shower and thunderstorm activity. This is the forecasted precipitation through Sunday afternoon. Look at South Dakota, look at Nebraska, but also look at a lot of the blue. See the blue and the yellows here? That's the areas that have the best chance of measurable rain. And boy, here's an area right here in south central Wyoming and the Wasatch Front of Colorado. And look at the western slope and west of the divide in Colorado. This warrants a happy face. Now, whether or not that's going to be a lot of rain, probably not, but at least it's something. At least it's some signs that patterns are maybe changing a little bit. And boy, do we hope this comes together along and south of Interstate 90 in northeastern and east central Wyoming and western South Dakota that are really, really dry. Let's hope that they can get into that action as well. And even down into New Mexico and Arizona, we're starting to see better chances of rain. So chances of rain look better. And boy, look at these temperatures. These are temperatures relative to average by Saturday afternoon. Look at all the blue and the green and some splotches of purple there along and east of the divide. And as we showed you yesterday, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, central and northern California, that's where that big high is going to park itself and just trap the heat there, just trap it there. And that's going to be something that will carry forward through the weekend and into early next week. These are temperatures for Saturday. This is the comparison to averages, but the real forecasted high temperatures, look at all the 70s, a couple of 60s in there for high temperatures on Saturday. So the heat really gets suppressed and stays basically along and west of that line. And longer term, this is Tuesday. Notice the high pressure is centered over the panhandle of Idaho. And if we were to follow those little wind barbs, where does the wind come from? Well, along and east of the divide, the winds are coming in from the north. Now, some of the heat is going to leak in from this high pressure ridge, but we're not right under it. We're just on the edge of it. So the extreme heat will stay to basically west of the divide. Also, what will happen is, you don't see it, but there are small little disturbances that will come up and over this high pressure ridge, come in from the north, and will occasionally trigger some showers and thunderstorms along the continental divide. Longer term, this is out to the beginning of the 4th of July weekend right there. We have kind of a stalled out low in the Midwest. The high pressure is still there, but it's weaker. And if you were to look at the wind flow coming into the Front Range in the high plains, it's actually from the northeast. It's not coming from here. So that's why peaking into early July, yeah, we'll get some heat, but we don't see severe heat. We also see a better chance for showers and thunderstorms. And if we were to look at temperatures relative to average by the start of the 4th of July weekend, you can see the continental divide is basically the boundary between the cooler air here and the really warm area west of the divide. And this area right here shows where the most heat relative to average is going to be. The northern plains back to the Pacific Northwest into British Columbia. But at the same time, there's some impressive areas where it's actually cooler than average as well. That's why you always got to remember, where there's one extreme, the other extreme is not that far away. Over the next 10 days, this is what precipitation totals look like. You can see parts of the northern and northwest Corn Belt, the Dakotas, Nebraska get wet. This will be really good news for the corn crop here. They really need it, especially in Iowa. And notice some purples here, some reds getting up into Mexico. And look at this, into the desert southwest. And there we go, some of that subtropical moisture showing signs in early July of coming on in. We continue to see that trend, and let's hope it holds. And one reason why we think it's going to hold, we talk about sea surface temperatures a lot in this podcast. And if you remember, if you had seen the video we did on the Day Weather video podcast site, the Day Weather YouTube channel, we talked in detail in that video about sea surface temperatures in the Gulf of California and along the southwest coast of Mexico. If these sea surface temperatures are warmer than average, the monsoon tends to be more robust, or at least it tends to be in place. And I want to show you where we were a year ago. This is just recently the sea surface temperatures in Mexico as of this weekend. This was a year ago. Notice this pocket of coolness right here. We joke that last year the monsoon was the no-soon. Well, why are we more encouraged about the monsoon at least being better than it was a year ago, not getting worse? Well, it's because of this right here. We have this pocket of cool right here, but it's kind of an island. It's not expanding. But this broad area here of higher sea surface temperatures means more humidity in the air to transport northward. So that is encouraging. Don't forget to subscribe to the Day Weather YouTube channel. Have yourself a great Wednesday, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.